we should be live. Welcome back, nerds and turds, to another live stream repair. How many are we currently backed up on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Goodness. Let's just grab one and get started. Here we've got one from Dashawn. Let's find Dashawn's email and figure out what's going on with their pod here. No power. Alright, should be pretty easy one to start things off. Very nice. Let's get their name and issue up on the screen so people know what we're working on. And while we're at it, we'll shoot them a quick email letting them know we're getting started on theirs now, and then we'll take a look. Alright. Got him. Ooh, dusty. It's been a while, hasn't it, little guy? Alright. You folks know the drill. Although I don't. Speaking of which, have my screwdriver. There it is. Okay. We are ready to get started. First things first, we will check our symptoms with a known good power cable. No signs of life here, and about 6 watts of power draw from the wall, which is pretty typical for the no power failure when the diode on the amplifier fails, which I've got more details on if you're curious on my website nixfix.com under the common issues section. Hey, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Let's crack this open. I'll make sure we are in focus. I guess I should make sure my microphone's working here. It is. Okay, cool. Sometimes that just decides to stop working.
Alcohol should be good to clean the D-pad on my controller, right? There's crunchy stuff on the side.
Yeah, like rubbing alcohol?
Like 91 or whatever.
Yeah. Woofer check. Looking good. Smelling good. Feeling good. Why won't you focus? There we go. Alright, I guess I gotta restart this really quick. That's no big deal. No, it's just not focusing where I want it to. Why? Why? There we go. Here we go. First one of the day. Will we have the straightforward, yeah, 1748K on our diode there. Betcha. Betcha it's dead, huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. Let's give it a new one. Apologies for the background noise. It's for my own good. I do not want cancer, but got a little bit of a filter here going so that we don't breathe in those fumes. We'll turn it back off when we're done with the soldering here in just a few minutes. That should do it. Give this a sec to cool off, and then we'll start putting this back together enough to give it a test and see if it's good to go. All right, what do we got? We've got power. Easy peasy. All we need to see is less than 50 millivolts of offset, and here, our beautiful setup tone. Looking good, sounding good, excellent. Let's continue putting this back together. No one had a birthday, but that stuff was just in somebody's box that they shipped their HomePod in with, so it's mine now. Along with our little nut here. Oh, wait. I did it again. I didn't put all the amp screws back in. Let's get that out. There's a song for that. There is a song for everything. Backstory to which cable? There we go. Let's oopsie that daisy there really quick. Just a few more screws. Just glad we caught that before we got it all the way back together, and then and no, it wouldn't be okay to leave it like that. It would probably work, but with only 2 or 3 screws holding that amp down, who knows, how many of those tweeters would actually work reliably, not to mention how much the board's going to rattle around it whenever you're using it. So if you're working on your own pod and you get it back together and you notice that you're missing a few, or that you forgot to put in a few amp screws, it's worth taking it back apart to put those back in. Oh, that I can't talk about here, but we can talk about it in Discord. And also pretty much what I shared in my Discord is really about all I know about it and as much as I can share. What I can say is I was talking to someone overseas a few weeks ago, and I was pretty close to spending a fair bit of money on them sending one to me, but I think they wanted like $185 just for the cable, and then I don't even know how much they wanted for shipping on top of that. So essentially it does seem to be no different than just connecting via USB. Like, just if you were to do what we've done here, this I can show because I've done this myself, but if you rip the rubber base off the bottom of your HomePod, you get your debug pins, and if you solder a USB cable to the bottom of it, you can plug that into your computer. That's about as far as you'll get with it, because they still don't let you restore the software on them, even if they show up as HomePod devices with a restore button in the Finder UI, but nonetheless, I'll tinker around with it, see if there's anything different with it. There we go. Here we go.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, I'm having trouble connecting.
Looking good, sounding good. Very good. That one is ready to go. With that done, we are going to move on to Ermal's second HomePod. They sent in two a few days ago, and we knocked out their first one yesterday. Here's the second one. Both of which had no power. So let's shoot them. Let's shoot them another email letting them know that theirs is up now. And we're gonna get started. Oh, and one other thing. Ermal let me know yesterday that there might be some extra things missing on the other side of the board. Oh, I do see it. Yeah. Okay. I feel like that wouldn't keep it from powering on. That's just the amp for one of the tweeters, but who knows? We're gonna try it. First though, let's take a look at this one. Plug it into power, check our symptoms. We see nothing here, and again, 5 watts of power from the wall, which tells me we've probably got another dead diode. Part of a bad batch of those diodes floating around out there, failing prematurely and causing this no power issue with that amount of power draw. So we're gonna work first on this top plastic here. We're not using this tool to pry this top off, but instead we're just cutting through that adhesive layer. It's going to take a few times around, but if we keep going, eventually that should just come right off, scratch free. And then we'll get that display out. For this, we're going to start a gap underneath not just the plastic here, but the PCB that this plastic is glued to. It's kind of sandwiched in between this outer lip of this frame here. So we're going to wedge that tool in there, get a gap started, and make sure that we're actually in between the PCB here and our frame, and not the plastic in our PCB. So let's pry this off, and it'll probably make more sense when you see this piece come off. Just like that. Let's get that out of the way. Work on our frame here. And we're gonna slip a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the outer edge there. Swirl it around for just a sec. That's gonna make prying this upper half here off the bottom half a lot easier when we go to do that. We're gonna let it soak in for a few minutes while we work on this cable and get these next few screws out. All right. And that's what a little bit of rubbing alcohol will do for you. I need to make an updated how-to guide on tearing down and reassembling your first gen HomePod because I've come across a few new tricks and ways to make it a lot easier. Woofer check. Voice coil in there. If we take a nice close look, we want it to be nice and copper colored, even all the way through, and that's what we see here. Feels good, no grittiness or texture to it or sound. Smells fantastic, not like it's been overheated. So we've got a good little subwoofer. Get that power supply unplugged and taken out. Ooh, you're putting up a fight. I'm not even gonna try that. We're gonna break those free with this guy. I do not feel like extracting broken screws today, so when you encounter this where your power supply screws are just so Loctite in there that they feel like you're going to break them out trying to get them loose, stop, because you probably will. Just go back and forth as much as you can, as much as it'll let you. See, like we're doing here, left and right. And if you keep going, it's just going to let you take it right out. That's how you avoid disaster. Get that ribbon cable down there. And we're in. What do we got here? Yet again, 1748K on our diode there. What's it got for us? Beeping is bad. Well, what do you know? Dead diode. Let's give it a new one. And there we have it. Give this a sec to cool off. And you guys know the drill. We'll start putting this back together, see if it works, if it's got any other surprises in store for us. And then we'll pop it back together. All right. What you got? Hey, we've got power. Do we have good sound? Yes.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Sounds good. Our offset is looking excellent. So this one is ready to go. Let's finish putting it back together. How do you know offset is good? How do you check that? So, great question. I've got some photos on my website under the common issues section if you want some photos. I think I have an example. If not, I got to put it up there. But basically, you see the subwoofer here. I've got a really long cable for it to allow me to plug it into the amplifier instead of having to put it into the HomePod. So that allows us to keep it out on the desk here. And then behind it, you can't actually see, but I've got these multimeter leads also connected to the subwoofer's connection here. So if you watch here, our multimeter on the bottom left hand of the screen, when I poke our subwoofer, our offset starts to fluctuate. So we've got a connection to our multimeter in DC voltage mode. And with our subwoofer connected to the amplifier, simple as that, we can boot it up, and once the HomePod boots up and the amplifier is on, not in standby or off mode, we can check our DC offset, and we're looking for less than 50 millivolts, which is a pretty aggressive target. The amp chip that's used on the HomePod is actually rated for upwards of 180 to 200 millivolts at the outputs. Technically speaking, it's around 18 millivolts at the input, but what we're going to see here on the output at our subwoofer is going to be amplified, so we'd see around 180 to 200 millivolts when it's reaching past that tolerance that the amp is built for. So when we see more than 50 millivolts, we just say, okay, yeah, we're just going to give it new filters. If we ignore that, then what happens, of course, over time, that DC voltage gets bigger and bigger, and then the amp will detect when it's grown past a safe level and play the loud buzzing sound, or most people call them death farts, and force a restart in an attempt to, I guess, cool down and save itself, or at least let the user know that there is a problem and that it can't keep getting used. What's my origin story? Seems like you know a lot. So I don't have any formal or professional background or experience with audio or electronics or anything of that matter. Dropped out of high school, got my GED, enlisted in the military, got out of that as soon as I could, and got a job on the west side of Washington at a call center. Got let go of that after a few weeks and landed the job where I've been at for the past 10 years, doing all sorts of things, but mostly revolving around various like software support for my day job's applications, and it's nowhere near like audio and really even any IT work. For the most part, I support our proprietary software, but I do encounter a fair bit of general IT issues along the way. As for how I got into like fixing these, I've always been sort of like a hobby tinkerer. I've loved taking things apart myself and fixing things. I've always loved buying things like broken for really cheap. When like used or new, they're like really expensive. Things that are like normally completely out of budget for me, but people sell them broken for ridiculously cheap prices. And that combined with my first time hearing a HomePod and my mind just being blown at how much sound came from such a small speaker, got one for myself. Best Buy accidentally sent me a second one, so I accidentally ended up being able to experience stereo pair for the first time, which got me absolutely addicted. So I tried to look up like how I can get my hands on more of these without breaking the bank. And that's when I started noticing a common theme with these broken HomePods, where most of them wouldn't power on or had no bass or blinking volume buttons, what have you. And I found some guy on YouTube who diagnosed the no power issue, which, as we have come to find out, is plaguing many HomePods. 9 out of the 10 HomePods that come in for repair are for the same issue. Oh, guys here. Folks, I've got someone dropping off a HomePod for a repair. I'll be right back.
Like, this isn't fun. You feel pretty solid? You feel pretty solid? Is that little child?
Okay, sorry about that, folks. Had to talk to them for a few minutes. They're actually from where I was born and raised, and we just wanted to chat for a few minutes. Talk a little bit, of course, about, you know, the ways of Apple. So, where was I? Oh, I was talking about where I came from, why I'm doing this. Right, so we were noticing all these common issues, but nobody offering any repairs for them, let alone the options that Apple gave you. So, between my years of following Louis Rossmann and Northridge Fix and channels of like that, and kind of wanting to get into the repair industry, but not really knowing how to get into it, you know, because there's already plenty of people out there doing iPhone repairs, laptop repairs. But I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to fix things that people weren't typically getting fixed. And man, well, my absolute love for the HomePod and fixing things, and nobody fixing HomePods, and it all just kind of came together, this perfect opportunity of, let's do it. Let's make a website. Let's get a license. Let's start offering people. Right off the bat, I was just going around social media telling people, like finding people that were complaining about their broken HomePods, like Reddit and stuff, and just going, hey, I'll fix it for you for free if you cover shipping, just to get my name out there and build up that reputation. And after a few months and a few dozen repairs, I felt confident enough to start charging for my services, and of course got licensed and all that good stuff. But that pretty much brings us to here today. Everything that we've learned how to fix on HomePods is pretty much entirely self-taught, trial and error. The only exception being that diode on the amplifier that dies and causes no power. There was that electronics repair school guy on YouTube that managed to figure that one out. Oh man, I've got a wicked headache, otherwise I'd go into it way more for you. How much of your income comes from HomePod repairs? Not much actually. This is more of a thing that I just do in my free time on the side. It'd be nice if I got enough. Well, first of all, I don't charge nearly enough, nor do I get enough a day for me to really even like afford rent here. So the day job pays the bills and the food and the fun stuff and all that, and the HomePod money goes into savings. I take a little bit of it every once in a while, and I'll upgrade the setup to make something better. Like we got a new overhead camera, or like a better streaming PC, so we're not crashing and dropping packets all the time, you know? Well, and also it's like one thing that like stopped me from getting into the repair business for a while was the fact that you have to spend all this money on these tools that allow you to reprogram these replacement parts for iPhones, and even then you still can't completely get rid of all the warnings. And for me personally, I don't want to offer a repair service if I can't restore full functionality for somebody. Yeah, there's enough people out there, there's enough $40 repair shops out there, there's enough mall repair shops out there that'll more than happy to do that for you. But there's no, in my opinion, for me and for my standards, there's no right way to repair iPhones, unfortunately, without doing it through them or spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on new tools every time a new phone comes out to keep up with them. And again, even then, as far as I know, you can't completely get rid of all of the warnings and errors, and you can't completely fully restore functionality without going through Apple's repair program, which the prices for the parts are insane. But I'm just rambling by now. I found a nice little niche. It's a comfortable amount of work. Well, it's kind of really busy right now, but it's not overwhelming. And at least right now, while I'm still trying to figure out the whole running your own business thing and whether I really even want to like quit my main job and be like fully independent and on my own or not. Feels like a nice little opportunity to kind of feel it out at the least. And I get to see some really cool stuff. Like, we get people sometimes sending us in some things that probably shouldn't be sent in, or things that we probably shouldn't see, but we get to see them anyways. As much as it hurts that I can't share them with people, still pretty cool that I get to see it and play with it. Oh, and I'm not even talking about what's happened more recently. There was this thing that we got like a few weeks ago, which was we couldn't even show the repair on stream. We had to do it completely incognito. Let's see if this works. And we've got power. So yeah, that's pretty much my answer. No studying, no engineering degree. I would like to go to college and get some of that though. But hell of a lot of Lewis Rossman. What do we got?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Very good.
I'm having trouble.
And very good. Sounds good, looks good. Ready to go. 2 for 2. All right, who is next? It never ends. We've got Soria. Who is that? Who is that F? And what is wrong with their HomePod? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll see if we can bring this back. I'm going to bet that the missing cap on the back of the amp here doesn't have anything to do with our problem. I am thoroughly stumped, but we're gonna go ahead and put that back on there when we can try to get through a few more repairs. I didn't expect 3 more to show up today. Okay, so we've got Stan here with Death Farts. So let's get their name up on the screen. Oh, actually. Yeah, actually. Yep. DC offset. Okay, let's check out our symptoms. I'm expecting to hear a pretty loud popping sound after this boots up. Yep, okay, that's pretty bad. That sounds like some bad filters there for sure. Let's get this taken apart, and we're gonna hook up our test woofer here connected to our multimeter and confirm that we've got bad filters, and then we'll jump into some repairs. Ooh, Martin, welcome. Let's hear it. My head is killing me. Oh. Whew. I'm not gonna make it. I need some Tylenol and food. Folks, here's what we're gonna do. Let's see. I just want to confirm our issue here. If we've got more than 50 millivolts on the multimeter, we'll know that our filters are bad and it'll need new caps. If we see less than 50 millivolts on the meter, then we've got something else going on. But I think we all know what to expect based on what we heard earlier. Once we confirm at least our DC offset measurement, then I'm going to take a little bit of a break, try to clear up this headache, and we'll try to be back later this evening. Came home to a blinking HomePod, got mad, cut the power cycle that plugged it in, played a song and blinked and bricked itself again. Yeah, that's the thing, is the blinking volume buttons, like, might be an electrical issue on some of them, and it might be a software issue on some of them. We don't know, and without being able to without even being able to confirm what the issue is on any one of them, we can't say. Yours definitely does seem like one of the ones where it's like an intermittent electrical failure. Balls. And what's our offset here? We've got just about 600 millivolts. Oh, right. That's what we expected to see. So, folks, I'm going to go to try to clear up this headache. I'll try to be back later tonight. If not, then tomorrow. If you're looking for more info on doing your own HomePod repairs, check out the website, nixfix.com, where I've got a dedicated section for all the common issues that we fix up here on the channel, as well as my contact info, so you can reach out to me and start the process to send your HomePod to be fixed up here if you'd rather do that. Hope you all enjoyed, and